I was selling my jewelry in San Francisco on the Herman Justin Plaza. And then that's when I met Lynn. She was out there selling too. And I just noticed that she was a very sensitive person.
It was definitely spark at first sight, but I had set up on the plaza, and it turns out I was in his spot. And he came over and said, "You're in my spot." And I said, "No, I don't think so. We'll make room for each other." When we got together and we moved in together, one of the first things we decided to do is we wanted to take a trip to Mexico. Jim wanted to buy a gemstone called fire agate, and I just wanted to go and enjoy Mexico. So we said, well, in order to do this, we've got to earn some money. So we pooled all of our money, and we took that trip to Mexico, and it changed our lives.
We were sitting on the beach one day, and in comes a sailboat. They're sailing the coast of Mexico, enjoying stopping and doing the sights and sounds of Mexico. And we took some inland trips, and that sounded like a neat thing to do. And so we said, let's do that. So we made that our goal.
It wasn't just a fleeting idea. We truly did want to sail around the world, and we said, okay, then we better up our game. We better really learn a few things, such as how to sail. And one day, a guy came in who was looking for wedding rings, and one thing led to another, and he and Jim made a deal to trade the wedding rings for sailing lessons.
Shortly thereafter, we put the house on the market and put the stores on later after the house sold, and then bought a boat, and we moved aboard.
Jim began to have these strange symptoms and shaking. His left arm was weak and was shaking, and his left leg was kind of weak, and we had taken him to see various doctors, and they were thinking maybe it was arthritis or whatever. And anyway, finally he was sent to a neurologist who said yes, it was Parkinson's, and we didn't really even know what Parkinson's was. You have to remember we were in our early 40s. And so we went and got a second opinion, and then that second neurologist said, yes, it's definitely Parkinson's. And not only that, this idea of sailing around the world is ridiculous. You shouldn't do it. And he even told Jim he probably was going to live only 5 years.
And with the head doctor was an intern, and she was taking notes, and he turned his back on us for a minute, and she said, "Go anyway." And so that's where it became the name of the book. It's Go Anyway.
I don't think she knew how far-reaching her comment really was, that you didn't have to, it wasn't the end of your life, and that you could go ahead and do what you wanted to do and not let Parkinson's stop you.
First thing she said was, Parkinson's is not a death sentence, and you'll find that things will become more difficult as time goes on, to stay as active as possible.
At the beginning, sailing around the world, we thought, well, if we can go for 5 years, we'll just go as far as we can go until we can't go. And so we just took it more or less one step at a time. We had to rest more than maybe the normal sailor without Parkinson's. We had to stay longer between passages in a port, just recuperating strength. And as time went on, though, the question of can we continue became a continual conversation after every major passage.
My concerns was that something would happen to me, and I would leave Lynn very vulnerable. And but she's a sharp cookie. She could, I'm sure she could take it up and sail it.
As time went on and he couldn't handle the tools, what would happen is he would give me the tools. I would crawl into the tiny spaces, and he would say, use this. I had to learn about wrenches and channel lock pliers and all of that stuff. Dr. Arthur Erickson became our main neurologist for Jim. We met him at a HAPS event, and he decided to include Jim in his group of patients because Jim was an early onset Parkinson's person, and he knew that we were sailing. So we were able to call him from anywhere in the world, and he would write the prescriptions for Jim's medications. I think that what's similar about us sailing around the world and life with Parkinson's in general is to take it one day at a time. Both of us have been very involved with every decision we made on the boat, and both of us have been involved in Jim's care. One thing HAPS does is shows that participation and continuing to exercise and participate in life keeps you going.
Don't just lay down and let it beat you down. Do all the things you ever wanted to do, and don't use Parkinson's as an excuse. If I quit, I'd probably be sitting in some armchair wondering if I could make it, and I didn't want to have that.
Well, you know, our entire lives is about going where we've never been before. We more or less never went backwards, we always went forward. Instead of I can't, I don't, I won't, or I can't do that, you can do it, we will do it, and come on, let's go.